Good evening, my massive people. Welcome to the month of love, February, where we celebrate love to our loved ones. As you can hear, the song that is playing in the background is called Dandelion. And I just want to dedicate this song to each and every one of you right now. Please use this month to celebrate with family and friends, and most in particular, celebrate with your loved ones. With that being said, I just want to get straight into it. I will pause my music. I hope you're ready for this massive show on Tao. So let me just pause my music and we get the party started. Welcome everybody. It's indeed going to be a massive show, but it's going to be an emotional show. Hence I have my bottle of water. I just hope you too are having at least a toilet paper or a tissue. Yeah, a tissue. Because it's going to be indeed a very emotional show today. So today I'll be sharing my story. So growing up, one of the most fundamental and phenomenal questions I always asked myself was, does God exist? Does ancestors exist? And the reason why I was asking myself this question was simply because I endured a lot of pain growing up. And if these two fundamental and phenomenal external forces did indeed exist, I was asking myself, then why do you let me go through so much pain? Why does God allow us to go through pain? I mean, imagine experiencing pain at a young age. I was only 9 years old when my father left me. And when that happened, it felt like a piece of candy that was taken away from my mouth. Have you ever realized or been in a position where somebody gives you a taste of a candy, and meanwhile you're still enjoying that particular candy, they take it away from you? So that's how I was feeling. I felt hopeless. I felt not lovable, unappreciated. From being an active Mogale into being a total opposite of that. So I started to write my problems down, to write what I was going through, because whenever I will explain to the next person, they never understood or even relate to me. So with that being said, the only friend I had then was a piece of paper and a piece of pen. Why was it like that? My mom was overprotective with the whole idea that Mala does not have a father. So with that being said, each and everything, whenever he was rebuking me, whenever he wanted to call me into order, it was in an extent that I bring out all the anger and the pain that my father caused her. So it was indeed a sad journey growing up. Hence I was asking myself if really ancestors and God were there, and why were they letting me to experience such a huge pain at an early age. Imagine being beaten almost each and every day simply because you love playing soccer. And the reason why that was like that, because I was a reminder of the pain that my father caused my mom then. With that being said, I felt not appreciated and not loved. I went on and on and on with my grades. I was not doing bad, though this whole thing affected me psychologically, how I view the world, how I view men and how I view women. Because from my background, a woman whenever loves you, or whenever he was loving you, it was somebody who was controlling over you. But a man, he was not there. So I had to make my own definition of a man. I had to create an imaginary father in my head. So in me trying to feed in the wound that my father left me, I started to become involved in multiple romantic relationships. I started to have a lot of girlfriends with an intention that they will be able to feed that void or that wound that my father left me, right? So unfortunately it never worked out, because I believed that if I'm in multiple relationships, or if at least 10 people love me or they're in a relationship with me, then I'll feel human. I'll feel that sense of wealth. I'll feel that sense of living. But it just never worked out like that. It was until a point where I've decided that Mogale, you're gonna take your life. Tried to commit suicide, took an overdose of pills. It never worked out. That's when I started to believe that indeed when it's not your time, it's not your time. Because I remember I did the first attempt, took a bulk of pills, they're about 40, and I slept with the intention that I will die peacefully. I will die slowly and peacefully, but that's never worked out. I woke up so hungry, I woke up so weak. So I was like, damn Mogale, there you go again, you're still alive. By that time, because I was so weak, I decided to drink water and make myself food. That was my first suicide attempt because of what was happening in my own background. I went on, did the second attempt, about 50 pills, but never worked out again. And the reason why I was having so many pills in my disposal was simply because I'm a person who is suffering through ulcer. And I'm suffering ulcer because of the stress that I endured whenever my mom and father were breaking up. So due to that stress, I developed ulcer, went in and outside of hospital trying to get help, but it never went on like that. It never worked, because that time it was a rare case that a kid can have ulcer. With that being said, it was indeed complicated. So I was consistently sick with no help. They couldn't even give me painkillers, because the painkillers that could help me are strong painkillers. And for a child, the only painkiller you can have is a Panadol. So that also never worked out. So going forward, I've decided to right now narrow it down. Mogale, have one stable woman. Stop these things of becoming in multiple relationships, because you see, it's not working out. The idea of you being loved, the idea of you being appreciated, the whole assumption is just never working out. So have a stable girlfriend, build a home, build a relationship. So I've decided, okay, I'm going to have one girlfriend whom I'm going to make my wife. That was my ambition, right? So I went on with that one girlfriend. We went on for 3 years. But guess what? On the 3rd year, on our anniversary, I've realized that that lady was cheating on me with my mentee. And when I'm saying my mentee, it was not just a mentee, it was a brother. It was somebody I looked up to. It was somebody I was able to relate to. Somebody whom I taught everything. From how to save money, how to study, and everything else you can ever imagine. I took that guy from being a below average student into being an A student, because I was inspiring him each and every day to say, you know what, if you study, my guy, I'm gonna buy you 1, 2, 3, 4. Mind you, that time I was not working, I was still in high school. So apparently, my girlfriend was cheating with my mentee, and I've only realized that on our 3rd year anniversary. It was a heartbreaking experience. As many of you know, whenever somebody cheats on you, the first question you ask yourself, what have I done? Am I not enough? Perhaps am I not good looking? But hey, am I not good looking? And all those kind of questions that are coming up in your head. Strictly from there, I couldn't bear the pain. I went on to another relationship with immediate effect. I think we broke up in September. In November, I went on another relationship. I was not healed. I was not completely healed. I was still hating. I still had that anger in me that I wanted to unleash. And I was angry at the woman because my mom had me. Now my girlfriend, the only person that I put all my hope on, does the same thing. She hates me too. With that being said, I went on the second relationship. It was okay. It was fine at first. It was all fun, all bubbly. You know how first love, or new love, to be specific, new love is. I went on to that particular relationship. And guess what? It got more toxic. Because firstly, the person was controlling. I couldn't live my life. And the moment I've realized all of this, because all this time, I thought that person loved me. Because my idea of a woman loving me was when those people are too controlling and abusive. So that relationship, it was not a physical abuse, but it was an emotional abuse. So it went on like that. And the moment I decided to live in that particular relationship, I was toxic. And during the relationship, I remember, I've also tried to commit suicide. Because I felt if this person can hurt me, and then who am I? I'm trying, this is failing. I'm trying, this is failing. What's happening in my life? And with that being said, I went on with life. And I decided to go for counseling. My first attempt of counseling never worked out because they were asking me questions that made me even more angry. More questions and less answers. And the moment they were asking me questions, I started to become curious of a lot of things. Curious of my mom and my father's relationship. Curious of the whole idea of life. I quitted the counseling session. But still, I felt like, Magali, you need to heal. Magali, you cannot go on like this. Because I was angry at women. I was angry at the world. I was angry at each and everybody and anybody who was in my cycle. So I couldn't go on like that. That time, I was always locking myself in my room, depressed, with no help. No one to cry to, no one to run to. Because when I went to my family, I still remember vividly, when I went to my family to try to explain my feelings and thoughts, what I said to me is, Magali, you need to accept that your father does not love you. If he loved you, he will be here by now. And that made me even to be more curious, because firstly, this person brought me to earth. Secondly, this person was there partly in my life from 0 to 9 years. So you're only telling me when I'm 18 that this person does not love me? Like, really? That even made me even more angry. But going forward, I went on a second attempt of counseling. It was better. And it was that counseling session that changed my life completely. This therapist says to me, Magali, you've been living your life with the whole idea of what my mom will say. You've been trying to please everybody around you, then you end up forgetting that you're also human, you also have needs, you also have a life, and you need to live your life. The question that he asked me was, Magali, never mind what the world is saying, never mind what your mom is saying, never mind everybody around you. What does Magali want? I couldn't answer that question, to be honest, because I've been living my entire life with the whole ideology that, okay, I must change the things I was doing, because maybe my mom does not like this, my mom does not like that, my mom doesn't like this, and doesn't like that. So it was that question that made me to introspect about my life. So when after asking me that question, I realized, because I've been doing community outreach projects at that particular moment, that I'm passionate about helping people. I'm passionate about helping the youth. I'm passionate about helping men. I'm passionate about helping people and to see growth in people. That's what makes me to sleep at night, knowing that today or yesterday I impacted someone's life. So from that time and moment, I've decided that Mogale, go to the world and change the world. Most in particular, to change where I was coming from, because I am from a community where the only people we look up to was a teacher, it was a principal, it was a nurse, and it was a police. So those were only 4 career choices. Otherwise, we looked up to taxi drivers, maxi taxi drivers. So I wanted to go back and restore that level of hope to the young people, to say, friends, look, I know you're going through 1, 2, 3, 4. I know your reality. I grew up with you, but you can make things better. You can be better. You can be somebody. You can grow. You can be beyond your community. You can dream beyond your community. You could be a better person. You could be somebody. We can see you on TV. I went on and tried. Hence, that was my first speaking gig that I went to this school, and I was inspiring them. That's when the moment I went to public speaking. And during that year, it was 2017, I've also started to write my own book, to share with the world that, guys, it's not the end of the world. Pain is not an enemy, but a true friend. Because if it was not my father leaving me, if it was not my mom doing the things she was doing on me, I wouldn't be here talking to you. If it wasn't because of that painful experience that I endured, that never made sense, that anger, that bitterness, I wouldn't be here talking to you. And I've realized that I am human, I make mistakes, but most importantly, I need to own up to my mistakes and own up to pain. One thing that changed my life was the fact that if you run away from pain, you'll experience painfully. I've tried to run away from my reality of my father leaving me, which completely destroyed me, because he was the only person that I could relate to. He was the only person that I can talk to. He was the only person that understood me. Hence, when I started, I said it was like that piece of candy that somebody gives you and they take it out of your mouth while you're still enjoying the sweetness of that particular candy. That is the basic story of my life. From there, I was curious about human behavior. I did NLP and master practitioner so that I could help people out. I can become a coach and help you not to go through the same pain I went through. I wanted to help you not to be a slave of pain. I wanted to help you to ensure that you don't go through the same route that I took. I wanted to help you to ensure that you become the best version of yourself. I wanted to help you and give you teachings such as forgiveness, to tell you that forgiveness, the true definition of forgiveness, is the desire to hold somebody accountable for their past mistakes. I had a burning desire to hold my father accountable for what he did to me. I had a burning desire to hold my mom accountable for what she was doing to me. I had a burning desire to hold the world accountable for what was going through in my life. I'm coming to you now to tell you that, you know what, it's gonna be okay. you know what? God sees you. God sees your cry. God sees your tears. God is listening to you. I remember when I went deep into start to understand pain, I've realized one of the key elements that I will share with you now, that whenever you're going through a painful experience, there are 3 things that God requires from you. Firstly is to see Him. Secondly is to seek Him. And thirdly is to learn. I will give you a short story. Whenever Jesus and His disciples, they were in a boat. I think this is in the Gospels. I'm not sure about a specific chapter in Scripture, but it's in the Gospel, one of the Gospels, that the boat was sinking. They went on. The boat went on sinking. The disciples cried out to Jesus to say, Jesus, Jesus, we're falling. And He said to them, you people of a little faith, I'm coming to you now. Have faith in the Lord. Be patient with the Lord. Be patient with yourself. As I said, it's going to be okay. If I was able to overcome suicidal thoughts, if I was able to bounce back from trying multiple times to commit suicide, if I was able to bounce back from having multiple relationships, if I was able to bounce back from my father leaving me, if I was able to bounce back from all of that pain that I enjoyed, abusive relationships, being misread, misinterpreted, misunderstood by my own family and friends, if I was able to bounce back from that, what makes it difficult for you to bounce back? And lucky enough, you have me. I'm here to listen to you. I'm here to take you and to go with you. I'm here to share with you my story. Please be aware that this is the first time I'm opening up to the public about my personal journey. And I'm hoping and believing that this story will be able to touch someone's life one of the good days. And I'm gonna save this video, I'm gonna leave it here, that even the next generation will come and view it and learn from it, because it was my pain that led me to my purpose. So I will leave you with one of the most important questions that I always leave my clients with. What is the greatest lesson you have ever learned from pain? What is the greatest lesson you have ever learned from pain? In fact, are you even learning from it? Or you like me, you tried, you are still trying to run away from it? I wish you nothing but the best in life. I wish you nothing but all the good things. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord be with you. May the Lord bless you abundantly. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's indeed an honor and a privilege to have you on my show today. Let us not forget, Talk All Out series is all about telling authentic stories to share with the world our true selves, but most importantly, to learn, to network, and above everything else, to be inspired. I just hope my story inspired you, and I just hope my story helped you in one way or the other. Have yourself a blessed night. Let us not forget to pray. Let us not forget to be patient with ourselves. Let us not forget to lean on the pain, experience the pain fully, because people that go through pain never come back the same. And people that don't experience pain are not growing. With that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. Let's continue having Talk All Out show series on Mondays at 9 p.m. I love you all.